What is up? Hello, internet. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, I just wanted to talk through my haul because some people seem to care about that, but I have some outside thoughts, so it's not just me showing comics, it's also industry stuff and whatnot. First, something unique. Um, I don't talk about this because why would I normally? But when I get my shipments for my mother-in-law, I buy the Whedon comics basically, and she wants all the covers short of the ones that are investment, I guess. Not that she doesn't want those, but I was like, I'm willing to buy these for you, but if we're gonna be doing that, I need money up front because I can't be holding out for 30 for a month. So she'll pay me back. I do up the total off of DCBS and you know throw a couple bucks my way to cover shipping, and then I bag and board it for her. So I just give her a nice little package. It's a nice little deal, and it's a lot cheaper for her. Um, so I don't know, just something interesting that I kind of get to see and see how it comes out, and it's interesting to see how these things have been rebooted so many times and how they do so many covers and how it's just a weird little section of comics I don't play as much in, which is, I guess, well, I mean, I do, but I don't think of it that way. I don't play with a lot of property comics. I tend to not like that stuff as much. I'm not against it, and I understand why a lot of people like it. And one of my favorite comics, Turtles, is a property comic. It just doesn't feel like a property comic to me. I'm willing to hear the debate either way. It doesn't Turtles doesn't feel like a property comic to me because you have like Eastman, one of the creators, on it, and it's been running. So this current run has been running for so long in its own right. It actually feels like the most recognized and definitive run of those characters, which I mean has been true of property comics, right? Like those become big deals, like GI Joe, Marvel, Star Wars at Marvel, Star Wars at Dark Horse. uh, I know there's other notable runs like Transformers at IDW back when that was a thing. Sonic at Archie, though some mixed stories there. There's a whole lot there, and if that's your sort of thing, that's great. I just it's not where I want to be. Even for stuff I like, I tend to find a lot of the comics for that kind of thing less engaging. I think what it was a number of Star Trek comics I tried were not great, and I think that killed the dream for me there in that right. So yeah, to stave off the idea that I'm a Marvel zombie, though I totally am one anymore, right? I picked up. These are all my. I create little piles for myself of how I'm going to read, and the truth is, this is not going to be my first pile, but this is my pile of non-Marvel, and I kind of want to talk about it. I'm taking a shot on the Ant. I already haven't picked up the next issues, but I'm curious to see this, and who knows, maybe I'll be blown away and have to like fill the little gap and jump on it. But I don't know. Eric Larson was doing number one. I was curious, but I can't imagine. Adventure Man is back. Really enjoy this series. I'm curious to see where it goes, though I have to be honest. I was buying the last time I read Adventure Man, I feel like I was getting it at the store. So it's been like 2 years since I read it. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I did get an issue before and all that. But it I feel like it's been at least a year since I read the last issue, so I might have to go back and reread to keep in mind because Adventure Man was wild. It was, I mean, the art, the Dotson's just incredible. Half the reason I'm getting it, my wife loves the Dotsons, so I have to anyways. But the story was really interesting, but it was playing with its own little like mythos. A lot of the kind of pulp stuff, a la kind of Planetary, which Sleepy and I are doing podcasts on Never Stay Dead. So if you're interested, hear us like deep dive on each issue. Check that out. Or when it comes out, we've been doing it. It's not out yet. I hope I don't ruin anything. Yeah. So very excited to get to those, though. I'm gonna just dive in, and then I might have to reread. I don't know. I might wait for this arc to go and then reread it. I think there's a trade over there. I am now just babbling. I got the Batman Long Halloween. It's funny, I'm not huge on Batman, but I feel like once every other month there's some trade or special or Batman thing I get. There's just so much. Feels unavoidable. I've been getting Checkmate. I'm actually kind of bummed this was such a short limited series for what a cast that's not really being played with at DC anymore, and for it to just kind of be over. Some characters felt like they got a few lines and they were barely in it. Um, Keeping up with Green Lantern. I have to admit, I've kind of lost the thread there. I've been getting Robin. I plan on canceling it. The tournament thing didn't grab me. And then I'm dropping Nightwing after this Fear State thing. I just don't care anymore. Um, Getting Once and Future. This book has been excellent each issue. Love the conceit of Arthur being racist and you have to deal with them. Makes a lot of sense, actually. Then, of course, Turtles. And then something that pained me is the most recent run of Wonder Woman. I just fell off of her and Norse mythology, didn't do anything for me. But this special is good. I'm not picking up the Yannick Paquette. I forget what the subtitle is, but his big deal, it looks great, but it's supposed to be like a few prestige issues and whatnot. And what I've found is when it comes to that kind of thing, I really enjoy waiting for the trade that I know is right around the corner. It's going to be this big epic story. It's only so many pages, and getting it collected and put together is so much more satisfying. So it's not that I'm not engaged or on board. I love Paquette in particular, but moving to DCBS has really played with my temporal idea of comics, and I've thought about playing around with it a little bit, like maybe pulling a few comics out and going back to my comic shop to get those, but I'm not there yet. Um, but some things like a big special, I'm a lot more patient for because I'm not in the middle of that story and I am excited for it, but my excitement could be a couple more months. And the truth is because of the patience I have to put forward anyways, it's usually honestly only an additional month from when I would have been able to finish the story anyways. And it's going to stick with me a lot better if I read it as a whole. So, yeah. And then, speaking of Batman, I got the next White Knight trade. I think I'm one behind on reading these anyways. I've been really bad about reading my trades. And I've been collecting the George Perez Wonder Woman in trades since they've been released recently. And Volume 6 just came out, which is great. But the cover is Wonder Woman and Batman, and I don't know. But when I turned it over, my heart sank because as I was collecting these, I realized at no point was War of the Gods mentioned and or seemingly collected, but this trade seems to be identical to this one. Now, I haven't gotten here to rereading these yet. I've just been collecting them, knowing I want them, knowing I want George Perez's Wonder Woman fully in my library. I'm going to get to it. I've put the entire X-Men history kind of on my plate right now, and I'm taking a break from that with Fantastic Four and future videos probably coming. But these are basically the same dang trade. I'm probably just going to keep this one. I'll see if there's something why I'd want to keep this anyways. But why wouldn't you call this War of the Gods? It's a compelling title. It's this summation of everything, and I didn't look close enough. I know that's my fault. Why is this cover here versus this? This is much more relevant. And is it just because Batman sells? I don't know. What a bummer. Then I called myself a Marvel zombie earlier, and I do get an insane amount of Marvel. The truth is, I just get Spider-Man and X-Men and then some other stuff. And honestly, Marvel's been grabbing me more than DC. Even just looking at the Fringe DC or any DC I get versus the Fringe Marvel, I still want more Fringe Marvel. So I've been getting Amazing Fantasy. I don't love it, but by the time I realized it, I was this many issues in and might as well finish it. It's intriguing. It's interesting. It also, I felt compelled to collect it after getting all of Amazing Fantasy Volume 2, which is a very different thing. But this name holds at Marvel with a special weight. Um, Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. It's back to this black, white, and red motif that's been going through comics and I feel like has mostly died off at this point, though I feel it fits Deadpool very well. Also, this is the only Deadpool book going right now, so it's feeding that hunger. But I'm really hoping that we get a good Deadpool book soon. And it kills me because I've seen some threads that have happened with Deadpool, and I feel like I have some ideas that if I were to write out could like make a great series that would not only do Deadpool justice but also maybe flesh out a kind of corner of the Marvel universe with a number of mercenaries that's been kind of there forever but never fully tapped on. There's been a few books that have gotten pretty deep into it, but I feel like playing on kind of like that seedy underbelly of a number of the anti-heroes and true villains that really operate around capital and money only, and putting the finger on that could be a really fun book that Marvel just isn't doing right now. Yeah, I don't know. Fantastic Four, great. I've had a big Fantastic Four hunger lately, but new issue, so that's good. This is one of my last issues of Iron Man. I kind of gave up on it, but because of the way this works, it takes a little while for that to come through. Collecting Moon Knight, enjoying it so far, though I don't like the vampire character. That's the sidekick. But curious to see where it goes. Definitely willing to give that a few more issues because each issue's kind of been its own thing while building to a larger idea. So I'm on board. Um, I'm running through with Thor right now, but I'll see how these issues go. And I know I have more in the can, but it's been kind of on the dropping block, so that may or may not go. But if I remember it, I think Kate's run with Thor is about to be over, so I might just play that out and then let it go. Here's the big one. And this month, more than any other so far, has felt like I was at this weird split point. So this shipment really felt like 2 months worth for a number of books. And in fact, you'll see when I get to the X-Men block, there are a lot of titles where I got 2 issues of. Um, but I'm really happy to be on the other side of this. I'm really curious to see where it goes because I've heard nothing but good things. But first, I get to kick Spencer out of my life. Very excited. And then, and here's something interesting to that 2 months ago kind of thing. I get to read the new entry going and see all that. But what's really funny to me is I haven't looked it up exactly, but I think this issue is already something of a hot item. And it's really funny to me that I buy these books and then sometimes I see like my shipment was delayed by about a week this time, which that's what I'm signed up for. That's what I get. That's fine as long as it gets here. But in the past, I've had a few books canceled, especially at the last minute. And I've had other things. And I really worry when a book like this happens. I've already bought and paid for it, but I'm worried they're going to be like, oh, it didn't happen, or oh, it comes damaged, or something like that. And I, I can't deal with it. Um, but not only that, I have then 2 more issues of Amazing to go through. And then next month, because they're doing it so frequently, I'm going to have a pile of Spider-Man. And I don't know how I feel about this yet, as I haven't read it, obviously. But I know I'm going to like it more than I have been. And it's really cool that I'm going to be getting a pile of this new Spider-Man thing in a big chunk every month. I'm really looking forward to that. Um, Getting Black Cat, this book's been darn good. I believe this is the last nonstop Spider-Man. I think I lost the thread on that one. Symbiote Crossroads. I don't think this is the last issue. I kind of wish it was, but I feel obliged to keep getting it. I like it. I don't love it. I don't know. The art's really the problem. What a shock. And then Miles Morales has been great. I'm not sure about the new costume. I don't like it personally. Whatever. Maybe it'll grow on me. I haven't even read an issue with it yet. So I don't know. I'm very excited to get to Spider-Man this month, but I'm thinking to torture myself a little bit. I might dig through a few other things first, and then give myself time to savor all the amazingness. All right, you'll notice this pile's more sloppy, but that's because I don't know how to arrange these really. Even though there's a way, but I'd have to look in the back, which might spoil stuff. So, X-Men. So I finally get to read Inferno. I know things have been a buzz, but I don't know what's going on. Find out. And here's a big one. Like Sword is coming up, and I'm actually excited to see where this is going. This Sword was really, I felt like, waylaid by King in Black, and I've been kind of waiting for it to get a little bit more steam going after that, and then an event. And, I feel like this book has promise, but hasn't had a chance to actually do its own thing yet, which is so weird. Um, so yeah, a little bit of Wolverine. I haven't been enjoying it, but I hope this picks up. But I know they're building to like this big Wolverine event, which is just so just have a big story and tell it in the pages of Wolverine's own solo book. What a crazy idea. Though I think what they're doing is kind of like what this was is to pep up sales is they're making it like these mini X events because X-Men's the hottest thing. And so like this Trial of Magneto was really their continuation of the current X Factor, which sucked. And I'm really hoping that after this, those characters and that whole thing mostly goes away because that was my least favorite of the X books. Um, big big Colossus cover. I don't know. X Force, hooray! That book's been great. Marauders. I'm really curious to see where this is going now because this book has been all over the place. Then currently the one X book I've considered dropping, but I'd feel weird dropping just one X book is New Mutants. So, eh. Excalibur. This should be fun. They're on a weird side plot. It's been interesting to see this book kind of go from being kind of an what felt like an oddity to the most important book in the Hoxpox era to kind of going back to being a bit more of an oddity. So I don't know. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about this for those reading most of the books, but I've been enjoying it through and through. Hellions is a lot of people's favorite. It is not my favorite, but I'm enjoying it, though I'm hoping we get a little more. I shouldn't say that. No, the last issue I read, there was a lot more motion going with something that's been playing with Sinister leading the group for a long time, and now it's finally going. So I'm curious to see if this book lasts or if they kind of dovetail it out and open for something new. And then X-Men. Interesting. The cover's something else. I'm curious, but I don't think I have the issue because I've been reading about some of the stuff where Captain Krakoa comes out, and I'm curious to see where that all goes. But it's supposed to be a downstep for Cyclops, and I don't know. I just want my one Cyclops solo book, please. Thank you. So that's all the books I got. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I wanted to make a bit more hay out of that idea that like I'm really only about a month. Well, I guess it's a couple months behind, and the idea that some of the books I already have being collector's items really feels wrong to me. And I wish that it was a lot easier for people to just go buy and enjoy the comics they want to enjoy without this whole like weird financial game going on. I understand when some stuff like a first appearance of Carnage is worth a lot of money. I get that. I don't love it, but I get it, and there's reprints, and that's part of comics, and that can be even kind of fun. But when people like if word of mouth goes and then you can't go and pick up the comic, that's a bummer. So I don't know, that's just my thought on it.